Welcome back into the Jim Whelan Boardwalk Hall. I'm Kyle Scannell alongside Andrew Jamison, and today we have a round 2 action of men's MAAC playoff basketball. Following the 71-60 victory last night, the 7-seeded Fairfield Stags are now set to square off against the number 2-seeded St. Peter's Peacocks. The Stags last night were led in scoring by senior Braden Sparks. He logged 17 points, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Brandon Benjamin in the contest collected 15 points and 9 rebounds. And the rookie Declan Wooker-Fenig was crashing the glass all night with 13 rebounds, 5 of which on the offensive end. Stags really ran away with that game in the second half. Only up 4 heading into halftime, they came out with a much more complacent offense, passing up those forced shots we saw in the first half for more quality looks inside or those open shots outside the arc. It was really that complacency that helped their offense find a rhythm and allowed them to pull away in the one. The 16 turnovers they forced on the Jaspers certainly aided them as well, leading to Manhattan never finding a rhythm of their own. The Stags will not have that same grace period tonight with St. Peter's, though. To win tonight, the Stags will need to come out of the gate prepared and ready to attack. When asked about the preparation for today, Coach Casey said St. Peter's is a very, very good team. They're well coached, they're athletic, and physical. It's going to be a lot of similarities to the last game. He also mentioned they're going to have to handle the ball well, staying in attack mode against their defense, not committing live ball turnovers that get them out in transition, which they're really good at. St. Peter's features all-MAAC first-team guard Brent Bland, who's averaging currently 14 points, 4-point-now rebounds, and he's shooting a 38.9% clip on the season. They also have the sophomore Bryce Eaton, who's averaging double digits with 11.1 per game. And then we have Lucas Scroggins. He's hauling in a team-high 5.4 rebounds a game, standing in at 6'9". The Stags should be able to counter that with Benjamin and Wooker-Fenig both averaging more on the rebounds, 10.2 for Benjamin, 8.3 for Wooker-Fenig. What else are you looking for tonight for the Stags on attack mode, Andrew?
It starts with a good start on offense. We described that first half yesterday as wonky overall for the first half, both for the Stags and for the Jaspers. The Stags in particular came out a little flat. Fortunately for them, they jumped out to a 14-2 run in the second half to open and honestly never looked back. But against the St. Peter's team that makes you pay for turnovers, you have to get off to a solid start and build a little bit of a lead early, like they did in that first game back in late December. But it's especially more important here tonight as St. Peter's leads the conference in forced turnovers per game, averaging 13.79 forced turnovers per game. Fairfield allows just 10.3, so while they're up in the conference there, I mentioned yesterday that every turnover in a playoff game is almost like a double turnover, and St. Peter is probably the last team you want to give any more chances to, especially how good they are at the free throw line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a team that's gotten the better of the Stags twice in the season so far, and the Stags are going to really need everything tonight. Like I said, it's really going to be from the guys you expect. Brandon Benjamin, Declan Wooker-Fenig, are they going to be able to bring that same production as they did yesterday? It's crashing the offensive rebound, getting the second chances, but more importantly, making quality shots with them. We saw it a lot in the first half against Manhattan, just transition shots they were putting up early in the shot clock or, off balance, highly contested shots. Got to see less of that.
Yeah, and it's also don't get 2-3 happy. Fairfield was 3 of 14 at one point from 3, and Sparks was only 3 of 8 from 3. Deuce Turner 2 of 5 from 3. Halen Rollins 0 of 3 from 3. So while Fairfield, they did have some success at the three-point line, their entire offense can't come through there, especially with a St. Peter's team that's as scrappy as it is on the defensive end. Don't settle for shots. Meet St. Peter's physicality and win those rebound battles and battles in the paint.
Yeah, and of course, we can't fail to mention, of course, the free throw game. Simple part of it, but in a do-or-die game like this, it's going to matter greatly. Solid job at it last night, 11 for 15. Not something that you can hate on. They've had worse games, but tonight you got to have that mentality where every bucket matters.
And Fairfield got to the line in that game against Manhattan, and they shot well from the line. But going back to that second St. Peter's game, St. Peter's had 33 free throw attempts and made 28 of them. Fairfield was also had a good amount of attempts at 27 on the other end, but shot just 74% from the line. So Fairfield needs to get to the charity strike and capitalize at the charity strike. But at the same time, you can't commit fouls and get into foul trouble. We saw Rollins yesterday have 3 fouls early in the game. 2 early in the first half, 1 immediately into the second half, which forced Eric Mejia to have an increased workload, who responded well with 10 points, don't get me wrong, but they definitely need Rollins' hustle and physicality and energy against a scrappy St. Peter's Peacocks team.
Yeah, and this team's ready to play, right? This is the St. Peter's first game of the tournament, whereas Fairfield, they played 24 hours ago, and they certainly are going to show it, right? The wear and tear. Braden Sparks, a guy who took multiple charges, tough shots in the last game. They got to get right back to work here against a team who's fresh and their legs are ready to go. And
St. Peter's hasn't even been in Atlantic City since they last won the MAAC tournament in 2024. Remember, they didn't even qualify for last year's Atlantic City tournament, so this is a rematch of the 2024 MAAC championship game. So there's certainly revenge on side of Fairfield, and particularly because they lost the season series 2-0 for St. Peter's. 3 times as nice, I guess.
Yes, certainly. I mean, that's going to, factor in for sure, right? Not qualifying for the tournament in, a circumstance where most of the teams at least get themselves a game. That's certainly going to matter. And, right out the gates early, that's your chance, right? Yes, you just played 24 hours ago, you're tired, but a lot of these guys have been here, in the previous year, and they've also gotten, the chance yesterday to get a taste of the, the Jim Whelan Boardwalk Hall environment. So use that.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen a lot through the games here. It's been a struggle for some teams shooting. At times there have been a bunch of lulls on offense. I feel like every team's had some sort of lull. So it's especially important there to set a tone offensively and hit the ground running, because Fairfield's a much better team when they play ahead and jump out to an early lead. They keep that momentum going. It's been hard for this team at times to play from behind. We saw that in that St. Peter's game where St. Peter's led by as much as 28. And although the final score was 83-74, the game wasn't really that close as the score may suggest.
Yeah, and the best way that you mentioned to get rid of those lulls, right? You gotta get some production outside the top 3, right? Obviously, you're expecting Sparks, Benjamin, Wicker-Fennig to be the main contributors, but if you got guys like Tony Williams, Halon Rawlings, Deuce Turner are able to put in, a respectable amount of points themselves, and that's just 6 guys. You can add it on. Ryan Zan in the couple minutes he gets, Mkati. If everyone's able to just add a little bit of a piece to the pie, that's going to do wonders by the end of this thing.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the assist numbers tonight. Fairfield 11th in the conference, 12.1 per game. Playing by committee yesterday worked in success, but St. Peter's also has 2 big guys in Brent Bland, the first team All-MAC honoree, and Bryce Eaton in particular, who in their first matchup was the best player on St. Peter's team at 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. And that rebounds mark is very important because Fairfield's guard is going to need to match that physicality on the rebounding end. We know Wicker-Fennig and Benjamin are going to be manning the paint down low and fighting for all those boards. But Ken Sparks, Ken Rollins, Ken Mejia, Ken Turner, all of the the backcourt guys step up and grab those loose balls to get more possessions and opportunities.
Yeah, and let's highlight what you said there. Grab those rebounds, not tip them, not get just the finger on them. We saw it a couple times in the last game where it's a tip out to nobody, or they're just not getting 2 hands on the basketball. I'm sure Coach Casey emphasized it, but got to get the rebounds and you got to get 2 hands on it at best of their ability.
At one possession, a loose ball can be a difference of winning or sending home, and it's in type of March where every possession matters, Kyle.
Just 20 seconds to go on the clock here. Let's take a quick look at the starting lineups for this matchup. We'll start with the St. Peter's Peacock. We have guard Brent Bland, followed by T.J. Robinson, Elijah Perkins, Lucas Scroggins, and Zakir Williamson.
And then T.J. Robinson at 21 points in that last game off the bench back on February 15th. And for the Stags, it's the same 5 as last time out. Sparks, Williams, Rollins, Wicker-Fennig, and Brendan Benjamin, the freshman, who doesn't play like a freshman, Kyle.
No, that's something that was noted in the post game yesterday. He plays, he plays wiser than his age, and he shows it on the court. He's very patient, right? He gets into the paint, he takes his time, and he takes the right shot. So excited to see what he's able to bring tonight.
Absolutely. The starting lineups are going to be announced here, but we'll step away. For now, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere on WF Sports.
We are minutes away here from the tip. Getting ready to go at the Jim Whelan Boardwalk Hall. Fairfield in the black, going up against St. Peter's. This is going to be a good one.
Absolutely. A rematch, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, of the 2024 MAAC championship game. Fairfield was leading at halftime, but St. Peter's clawed back. St. Peter's looking for their first March Madness appearance and MAAC championship since 2024. It might not seem that long ago compared to Fairfield, who last won in 1997. So it's certainly been a while, almost 30 years, but this team, I think, is going to give St. Peter's a run for their money and won't make it easy.
Don't count these Stags out. See what they're able to bring tonight, man.
Good St. Peter's turnout here tonight, making a short trip from their small gymnasium. I don't know what town specifically. I think Lawrenceville's brighter, but it's the other one. But nonetheless, a good turnout here for the Peacocks faithful there.
Yeah, going from a small town like that to a spacious arena like this, certainly a culture change, but it's nothing these athletes aren't prepared for. Stags break the huddle. Benjamin sets to take the tip.
Cam Estevez will be inactive once again tonight. Will be, I believe, his fourth straight game inactive. As a response, I think we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, expect more Ryan Zan and Isaac McCotty. As a result, they'll be X factors. And depth production is also important. TJ Robinson is now in the starting lineup. He had 21 off the bench in that second game between the Peacocks and the Stags. Who's going to step up from St. Peter's, though, tonight's the question. Yes, you have Brent Bland, an all-MAAC, first-team all-MAAC player, and Bryce Ian, who torched the Stags in their first matchup. But bench production, it's a next-man-up game, Kyle.
It's going to be Scroggins on the tip for St. Peter's. Benjamin for the Stags. Fairfield in black, St. Peter's in white. Round two about to be underway.
Winner of this game will play the winner of Mount St. Mary's and Siena, I believe, on Sunday. So an off day for one of these two teams.
And we are off. Benjamin wins the tip and tosses it back to Tony Williams, and we're underway here. Williams dropping it off to Sparks. Resets it back up top. Rawlings bounce pass inside. Benjamin, tight pass into Booker Fennig and denied at the rim. He was met by Scroggins.
That's the way to start a game if you're St. Peter's. Get the crowd in immediately. Nice pass there by Benjamin. Just Scroggins was more than up for the challenge.
That's certainly one way to open a game right there. I mean, Booker Fennig thought he had the angle. Scroggins completely met him there on the side.
A little bit of double down as that was off Booker Fennig, actually, so it's going to be St. Peter's ball.
TJ Robinson will be the one to bring it up. Swinging it into the corner. Holding on. Looking for help. They'll reset it. Back to Robinson. Swings it back. Inside to the post. Pass inside tipped. Taken back. Floated up. And Wooker Fennig corrals it.
That's a nice board there by Wooker Fennig. You can see Fairfield hanging strong in the paint on that first possession.
Wooker Fennig top of the key. Floats it inside to Benjamin. Working in the post. Spins to his left. Little short on the shot. Won't get it, and Robinson will push it up.
Yeah, they're going to play fast here.
Robinson going coast to coast. Can't finish. Offensive rebound. Going to be a foul on the putback. Zakir Williamson will head to the line.
Yeah, offensive rebounds are going to be more important than you think tonight, Kyle. Fairfield had 13 in their game against Manhattan. So St. Peter's, especially as physical as the team is there, we saw in the first play, going to be something to watch as this game progresses.
Certainly. Williamson right there went through 4 Stags to get this offensive rebound. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast how important the rebounding battle is going to be to this one. Could lead to the first points of the contest. Falls short on the first.
Yeah, and Williams on the year averages 8.7 points per game, 5 rebounds, and assists from the line specifically. 78% free throw shooter. Tied for 4th on the team, or 5th, excuse me.
They'll look to salvage the trip at the line and get one. And they'll put it through. So 1-0. St. Peter's on the board first.
And St. Peter's coming out with a press immediately, trying to set a defensive tone.
Williams has no problem with it. Crossing half court. Takes the screen from Wooker Fennig. Takes the floater. Too strong. Wooker Fennig gets the offensive rebound and gets that one swatted away there. He tried to go up with two defenders right draped over him.
Yeah, there's three St. Peter's players in every Fairfield shot early.
Driving on the baseline quick is Perkins, but he stepped out of bounds. It'll be Fairfield basketball.
St. Peter's, again, the best at forcing turnovers in the MAAC. 13.79 forced turnovers a game. They're first there.
Stags looking to get on the board here. Williams drops it off to Sparks, top of the key. Sparks, bounce pass inside Benjamin. Another bounce pass to Booker Fenig. Three Peacocks surround him, and he tosses it away, trying to find Williams on the base.
Yeah, and Booker Fenig's being really aggressive so far, cutting to the paint. It's just St. Peter's is meeting him, and he has no breathing room to pass or shoot.
The Stags struggling early here with this Peacocks defense.
We'll say, though, they do have 4 shots ready compared to St. Peter's 1, so they are getting volume.
Robinson will bring it up for St. Peter's. He'll drop it off. Williamson moving it around here. Here's Brent Bland. Back to Robinson. Stags have the double. The trap. They'll reset it up top of the key. 7 to shoot for Williamson. Gets the pump, swings it. The triple, too strong. Won't go for Bland.
It's a good look there from Bland, the Peacocks leading scorer, averaging 14 points per game, 101 back.
Braden Sparks handling it. Controlling the offense. He'll set it back up top, Williams. Bounce pass to Sparks. Stags struggling to break this defense here. Worker Fenig takes the long 2-pointer. Won't go. Benjamin tips it. Tiptoes the baseline and lost it.
Yeah, he had the board there, but lost it coming down. That's one thing he's got to work on as this game progresses, Kyle.
So 3 minutes in, only a 1-0 score so far in favor of St. Peter's. Here's TJ Robinson dancing with Rollins. He's frozen. He'll reset it back to Williamson. 10 on the shot clock. Back to TJ. Launches the long triple and connects.
Yeah, tough shot there. Rollins was tightly on him. Robinson just got enough breathing room on that shot, and it falls.
Stags need an answer. Braden Sparks swings to Booker Fenig. He's got time and space. Goes up for the tough lay right there with contact. Gets the foul. He'll head to the line.
Yeah, Booker Fenig has certainly not been afraid to put his body on the line tonight here, and you love that energy early on here. Took a shot there from Scroggins, who wanted another block, but draws the foul there.
Talked about the importance of free throws early in this one here. Worker Fenig got to get these both here, set the tone for the Stags offense. See the deep breath he took right there. Take his time and doesn't get the roll on the first.
Yeah, Worker Fenig struggled offensively despite having 13 rebounds, just 2 of 8 for 5 points in that opening round game against Manhattan. On the year, just a 65% free throw shooter, a unanimous All-MAAC selection.
And he'll miss them both. Stags stunned here, stuck at 0. Peacocks will look to pour it on. Top of the key, the drop pass to Williamson. Swings it to Robinson. Bounce pass to his left. Back, Robinson takes the space, Euros in, kicks it out. Fakes the 3 from Bland. Long 2-point try, good.
Yeah, Sparks a little bit overzealous there. Rollins was too late on the help there.
Tony Williams bringing it up. Bounce pass inside. Benjamin in his office. Puts it up with the left. A little too short. Tips it out into the hands of the Peacocks. They're racing down 1-on-1. The finish too strong. They get the second chance. And they get the foul. Man.
St. Peter's is flying right now, and they're loving it off the bench.
That was Williamson right there crashing the offensive boards. Not the first time he's done that tonight. That'll force a timeout, so the Stags head to the bench. Haven't seen one go through yet.
No, they have not, but St. Peter's is winning the rebounding battle, which has been utmost importance considering both teams still haven't found their groove offensively. Fairfield's yet to make a field goal, but St. Peter's has missed 3 shots already, but they have 2 offensive rebounds and are winning the rebound battle 7-3, and their aggressivity paying off early.
Yeah, and there's no surprise to it. You know, it's exactly what we detailed at the start of the broadcast, and we're seeing it pay dividends immediately. even just missing those 2 free throws, it throws the mindset off a little bit. And, this is a team that we've said has trouble. They go on droughts. And, we're about 4 minutes and change in here, and they haven't seen one in.
Yeah, but Rollins, again, we talked about it. 2 fouls already early on that last one on him, so not ideal. Fairfield going to go to Eric Mejia, you have to assume, here early like they did yesterday against Manhattan, but certainly not an ideal start, down 6-0 early, and, Peacock's going to the line for 2 more.
Yeah, a little bit of deja vu right here, right? The same deal with Rollins, the same slow start. We asked Coach Casey, right, like the adjustments that really came at half, and he spoke quite frankly. He didn't really change too much of the game plan. The team just came out and played cleaner basketball. So to see them start this game like this, obviously a little disappointing.
Yeah, it is disappointing, but, you look at the back of those free throws, Wooker-Fennig, you had 2 shots there, didn't capitalize on those. Those could very well be a difference maker when you look back at the scoreboard if this game doesn't go Fairfield's way and say, those points we should have had at the line.
One clear difference is not a single 3 attempted from Fairfield. They were 3 happy in the last contest. They've put 6 shots up, all inside the 3-point arc. They just haven't gotten anything to fall yet.
Yeah, and they're wanting to go back to their bread and butter in the paint, physical with Benjamin and Wooker-Fennig. It's just St. Peter's defense has been smothering and swarming at every single pass, every single shot, every single possession. Nothing's easy for the Stags right now, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the game plan was set on, Brandon Benjamin. You got to limit him in his office there on that right paint, and they've done a great job at it. Wooker-Fennig hasn't really found his groove, and haven't tried the 3 points yet. So we'll see how they come out of this timeout here. It's going to be Wooker-Fennig, Williams, Rollins, Sparks, Benjamin. So the same 5. No adjustments, despite their 2 fouls.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're keeping Rollins in here. It just goes to show you Coach Casey's confidence in that 4 freshmen that have been in the starting lineup for the majority of this season for the Stags, who've gone 11-9, now 12-9 in MAAC play, up from an 8-12 mark in 2024-2025 season.
So Zakir Williamson, who went 1 of 2 at the line last time, returns to the charity stripe here for 2 more. Misses the first.
Yeah, Williamson on the year we mentioned earlier, 78.3% shooter from the charity strike. On the year, though, 48% from the court overall. And Mejia will now sub in for Rollins.
For St. Peter's, it also looks like we had Bryce Eaton check in, averaging 11 points per game. He's coming off the bench tonight. See if his impact is made.
Yeah, and he's 17 points in that first game against the Stags back in late December.
Williamson misses them both. So just like the Stags can't make anything of the charity stripe, it stays 6-0 here early in the contest. Here's Mejia, fresh off the bench. Swings to Sparks. Gets right by his man and draws the foul.
St. Peter's number 7, Elijah
Perkins will pick that one up. And that will send Williamson to the bench and bring in Gupton.
A little bit of a stat here. St. Peter's averages the most fouls in the MAAC per game at 20. So could be a lot of those tonight.
Something to keep your eye on, certainly. Both teams sitting at 2. Here's Mejia. Fakes the pass to the corner. Back up top, Sparks. Strong pass inside. Back out Mejia. Drives right baseline. Fading. Short. Wooker-Fennig the putback. Rejected. Got it back. He's trapped out there. Back up top, Sparks. Swings to Williams. His 3-point try. Air ball from Williams.
Yeah, they're going to get a foul on the floor there on number 5. Jakai Gupton to keep Fairfield with the ball.
So another try added, but this St. Peter's defense has been suffocating.
Yeah, a little bit of a silly foul there, though, by Gupton there. Just not a good shot by Williams.
So 20 seconds on the clock. They'll get it back in, and the Stags another go at it. Bounce pass inside, taken away and stolen right there. Easy pickings right there for the Peacocks. They'll try a 3-pointer top. Will go. It's going to be Brent Bland.
Yeah, don't be surprised if Casey takes another timeout here just to stall St. Peter's momentum. Fairfield's turned it over 3 times already and have not had a field goal.
9-0. Williams trying to direct the traffic. Just get something inside the paint here. Williams takes a screen to his left. Kicks it Mejia. Back to Williams. Accelerating into the paint, but not before getting a travel there. A little bit too extra from Williams.
Yeah, just a little bit of a lapse there by Williams. Took one too many steps there. Fairfield still scoreless, almost on 6 minutes now.
Yeah, and you're really starting to feel it now. You know, it's that point in the game. You just got to see one go in, and it can really affect the mindset. St. Peter's just looking to keep this rolling as long as they can. It's Eaton to Bland. Up top, Gupton. Bounce pass inside, nice find. The right-hand float is good and in.
Beautiful pass there by Gupton. There to find the open man there. That was
Ewing right there.
Yeah.
Putting the Peacocks in double digits. Coming out in the press now, Wicker-Fenig tosses it up to Mejia. Mejia one-on-one in the paint. Can't get the left-hand finish. Benjamin battling for the rebound and forcing a jump ball.
Possession to St. Peter's.
Possession will be to St. Peter's on the jump ball.
Fairfield now 0 of 8 from the field. And I know it's early, but you need that first basket just to lift a weight off your shoulders that feels almost insurmountable at this point.
You know, the clock seems to be going, you know, faster than you've ever seen it when you just can't score in moments like these. It seems they're going to make a substitution. Bakari will check into the contest for the Peacocks. Eaton to bring it up. Defended by Williams. Eaton crosses, drops it off. Gets it back, now swings it into the corner. Working on Mejia. Gupton, that one swatted away. Benjamin pushes it up to Sparks.
But you need points here to capitalize off that.
Sparks, Booker-Fenig. Bounce pass inside. Benjamin won't get it to go, but draws contact. And Benjamin will look to end the drought.
St. Peter's foul by Jakai Gupton. That's his second personal.
That'll be Gupton's second, so St. Peter's going to make a move here. Looks like Williamson's going to be checking back into the game after this first free throw here. Surprised Casey has gone this long with the starters, though, considering Fairfield's yet to score.
And there it is, the Stags on the board here. Took to the 13-20 mark, but Benjamin from the free throw line gets him on the board.
But there is a sign of hope. Fairfield was down 17-0 to MAAC and got that game back tied up at one point later in that game. So it's March, though, but not an ideal start.
Only one for Benjamin, so the Stags continue to struggle at the free throw line, but at least find themselves on the board here. 10-point deficit, Eaton to bring it up. Swings it to Bland. Back up top, Ewing. Now it's Eaton on the right wing. Throws it in, intercepted by Sparks. He'll push it up the court. Looking for some help. He'll reset, find Williams. His three-point try, no good. Benjamin on the putback, got it off the glass and in.
Yeah, and they needed that one. An offensive board to shift the tide a little bit there. St. Peter's already has 3 offensive rebounds. Fairfield desperately needed that one to counter.
Eaton to Williamson. He's back into the contest. Bland running around at the top. Eaton, screen to his left. Doubled. They'll reset it. The drive. The step back. Little long. Nice rebound by Benjamin.
That's a great board there.
He'll push the pace. One-on-one. Euros and finishes at the basket.
Yeah,
Benjamin.
It looks like Bakari tried to get set there. Just was still moving there. Benjamin blew by him for the easy 2.
All Fairfield's points belong to Benjamin right now.
They'll take it from anybody right now, Kyle, to get back in this game.
Yeah, only trailing by 6, 8 minutes in here. With the struggles they've had, you'll take it. Just got to apply the pressure defensively here. Bakari pass inside is stolen. Nice heads-up play right there by Mejia. He'll push pace. Goes into the lane. Too strong. Putback Wicker-Fenig is good.
Yeah, too strong the lane for Mejia, but Wicker-Fenig there to clean it right back up. He's been a rebounding machine there. No different there.
Just like that, 7-11, and the Stags are on a 7-0 run.
It's amazing how quick the tide can turn in basketball momentum shift.
To try and silence the run, Eaton puts up a 3. Doesn't get the bounce, but does draw contact. Mejia picked that one up. Obviously the last thing you want to see there.
Yeah, and I didn't see the entire play there, what exactly happened, but anytime you get to three free throws, that's not ideal, and a little bit of a defensive breakdown for Mejia.
So the teams will head back to their benches. The Stags, a little bit of a sigh of relief. You got 7 points on the board. You're in this ball game, but you almost wish you had just done a little bit more, right? I mean, if you come out of this game and even just shoot a little bit better, I mean, you got the lead. You can start building on it. Now they're playing from behind.
Yeah, but you have to look at this team's response, and as much as you want to kick yourself and dwell maybe a little bit and you could have started better, there's no time to dwell. You've got a game at hand, and you need to play in the moment. And Fairfield responded well with a 7-0 run their last minute 52. St. Peter's, on the other hand, no points in their last 2:40, but have a chance with 3 free throws for Eaton coming up after the foul by Mejia.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You can't get complacent. St. Peter's, kind of halted their run a little bit. Curious to see who Coach Casey has coming out of this timeout right here. Could see Deuce Turner, could see Mancati come in for a couple minutes. These guys are going to have pivotal roles here in keeping this game close and potentially, taking a lead in front here.
But both teams have struggled from the free throw line, Kyle, which was very surprising to me. Both teams don't rank toward the top of the MAAC, but both teams are just 1 of 4. And, in any game, that mark is not good enough to win in this time of year in March. So definitely probably a point of emphasis. Just slow down, calm down, make your free throws.
Yeah, the Stags have actually overtaken on the rebound battle now, 10-9, 6 offensive. So they've done a good job at crashing the glass like we anticipated, right?
And you've seen a better defensive effort on the Bear. St. Peter's trying to go to the paint, but, there's always that help defender, whether it was Rollins or Mejia intercepting a pass. It's good initial pressure, but then another Stags defender is in the right place at the right time to swoop in and intercept the pass.
Teams will be returned to action here. It's 11-7. St. Peter's out in front here early in half number 1. We return to the free throw line. It's going to be 3 shots for Bryce Eaton.
And no substitutions for Fairfield. Still Deuce Turner, still on the bench. Usually comes in around that 10-12 minute mark in the game, so I'm surprised a little bit, but maybe it's the same thing with Mejia coming after one of the first or second free throw.
Certainly hope the Peacocks can keep that poor streak at the lineup as Eaton laces the first.
Yeah, and Eaton in that first game we mentioned had 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists, and had the go-ahead and 1 to seal the game.
Knocks down the second.
Now 3 of 6 from the line, make it 4-7.
Yep. Completes a 3-point play, and he heads to the bench, as that'll bring back in T.J. Robinson to the contest.
Sparks has got to get going here sooner rather than later, though, for the Stags. Not a single shot attempt yet.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't afraid to put it up, in the last game, 5 of 14, so maybe looking to just be a little bit more complacent early, but certainly a guy that this team needs to shoot the ball if they want to win.
Second leading scorer on the MAAC, 17.6 a game.
Walker Fenig gets the pass inside, bounce pass into Benjamin. Benjamin quickly puts it up and in right there. He had maybe a half second to get that thing off before he lost his spacing, but he puts it in.
But that's all he needs to create that separation. He is so dominant in the paint. Anytime you let go side of him, he'll make you pay.
Robinson forcing his way to the hoop, drawing contact there. Neither of these teams afraid to go right at each other.
It's going to be on Williams. It's going to be his first, team's fourth, and now we see Deuce Turner going to the scorekeeper's table to check in what I would assume be for Tony Williams or Mejia.
So back to the free throw line again.
Number 2, T.J. Robinson.
They'll have 9 already after these two here, just in the first 10 minutes. Assuming we don't see more in the next 50 seconds here, but Robinson, his first at the line, bounces out. No good. So that'll bring Turner in for Williams.
Yeah, Robinson has seen his minutes progress as the season's gone on. He's averaging just shy of 10, 9.7 a game, and on the line specifically, he's a 75.6% free throw shooter.
And he'll miss them both.
Oh, they're going to get a foul on Williamson there, though. That one A little bit unfortunate there. No need to be doing that much off a rebound.
That's the second foul now that, if you're St. Peter's, you really wish you didn't give, because now they're at 5, and it's really adding up.
I know Fairfield hasn't made their free throws at the rate they want to yet this year, but any chance is a chance, Kyle.
Absolutely. They'll get it inside here. Deuce Turner, fresh off the bench. They'll swing it up top. Mejia curling around between the legs, over to Turner. Back to Mejia, 10 on the shot clock. Back to Turner. Looks inside, drives to his right, spins to the left. Back out Wooker Fenig, top of the key, 3, too strong.
That's a great board by Sparks there.
They find Benjamin down low. The left-hand lay is in.
But you see that hockey pass again there. Sparks to Wooker Fenig to Benjamin. It's the extra pass paying off there, Kyle.
It's a quick 9 points from Benjamin. 9 of the 11 for the Stags, keeping them afloat. As we just crossed the halfway point of half number 1, St. Peter's up 14-11. Top of the key, TJ Robinson driving in, pushes it back out. Inside, Williamson likes the matchup on Sparks.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup there.
To the cup, Wooker Fenig comes to help, and the putback is in.
Yeah, St. Peter's has 2 big guys there in Williamson and Scroggins, one finding the other for a big-to-big connection.
On the left wing, it's Turner. Over to Mejia. Always looking for that pass to Benjamin inside. He'll post up. He's got the space. Works his way in. Soft touch. Gets the roll.
Yeah, and Benjamin's single-handedly keeping the Stags in this game right now. He's already in double figures now, and Fairfield kind of be fortunate to be only down 3 here considering how this game started.
TJ Robinson takes the screen, fakes right, comes back out. Williamson swings it to Bland. Bland going down the left-hand side, backing down Sparks. And a foul called on Sparks there. He doesn't like it.
Yeah, Sparks and Bland were going back and forth there. Sparks had a little bit of an elbow, but Bland was pushing off just as much. Sparks didn't like that call there. Just his first, though. But Fairfield only has 1 more to give.
Yeah, both teams sitting at 5 here with 8:58 to go. So got to look to be a little more cautious here. Inbound underneath the basket. They'll find Bland. He'll spin, turn, find TJ. Robinson up top of the key. Finds Bland on the wing. Long 3-point try. No good. High rebound. Wooker Fenig gets up.
That's a great board by Wooker Fenig there. Wow, did you see the height he got on that one?
Yeah, I mean, that one, high bounce right there. Got to fight for it. He grabs it and also gets the foul on St. Peter's on the rebound.
But
so that's 6.
importantly, that's 2 on Scroggins now. He's got to play more cautious in the second half. So that's prime opportunity for Benjamin to just keep going at him in the paint, who's had a great game so far and success there. But Scroggins got to step out now, of course, as soon as I say that.
Yeah, Ewing will head back into the contest. 6'9", redshirt senior. Made a solid impact early. It'll be Fairfield basketball. Sparks to bring it up. Fairfield trailing by 3 here as Sparks pushes to his left into the paint. Spins, finds Mejia. On the right wing now, Turner. Benjamin sets for the screen. Turner goes to his left, needs some help. Benjamin, he's got him. On the right corner. Why not? Gets it to go. A Brandon Benjamin triple.
I mean, everything's working for him right now. I don't know the last time I saw him shoot a 3, but hey, he's as high as anybody right now.
It's a tie game here. 16 apiece, and what looked to be a bleak start is now a fresh game here with 8 to play in the first half. Ewing at the top of the key. Finds Eaton. Eaton with the speed advantage on Benjamin, working for space. Long 3-point try, no good. Rebound, Wooker Fenig.
Yeah, and Fairfield's bench and the crowd getting into it. The momentum shifting, Kyle.
Mejia looking to keep it going to the cup. Gets the roll, it's in. Eric Mejia, strong finish to the rim, sending us to a timeout.
Showing the zone, Brendan Benjamin there, just blown by a defender, getting to the paint for an N1. Was a foul and a goaltending, I thought, on that one, but the basket went in regardless. It just shows how hot the Stags are right now. 7-0 run the last minute and 44 seconds.
Yeah, they'll come out of the bench, chance to make a 3-point play, go up by 3. I mean, this is exactly what you just talked about, right? They were able, tough start. They didn't dwell on it. They got right to work, and it's really thanks to Brandon Benjamin 6 of 8 from the field, 14 points, and a triple to add on top. I mean, just a great start from him.
I just want to focus on the rebounding battle again, though. Fairfield's winning that 14-10, but Wooker, Fennig, and Benjamin have 13 of those 14 rebounds, and 7 of them have been on the offensive end. So Wooker, Fennig, and Benjamin are single-handedly giving Fairfield more possessions and, willing Fairfield back into the lead here, which was double digits at one point, Kyle. It's really incredible what they've done in this past after the under 16-minute media timeout.
It's the confidence that Coach Casey had in his group, right? We thought multiple times that we were going to see substitutions, rotational changes, and he kept with his guys because he knew what they were capable of, and they just showed it right there.
Yeah, looking at a little bit of a deeper dive. Still struggling from 3, though. 25%, just 1 of 4. Not as 3 happy, though, so that's maybe encouraging. Benjamin made one from 3, but you got to keep going back to your bread and butter in the paint. That's working, and Scroggins being on the bench with 2 fouls should only heighten the urgency to keep going in the paint.
Yeah, if you're the Stags, you just got to keep this rolling, right? That's the hard part. We've seen it in many games where teams, they find their rhythm, they head to the timeout, and they don't come out the same. So it's really important that they come out of this with that same energy, that same momentum.
So looking at a deeper dive, Fairfield shooting 40%, 8 of 20, 25%, 1 of 4, but just 1 of 4 from the free throw line. That number's got to change if they want to keep this lead or pad it. This game could very well be a game of runs as it has been so far. Peacocks on the other end, just 38%, 40% from 3. They've had 5 more free throws, but are struggling at a 4 of 9 clip for 44%. So both teams have areas to work on this game of runs so far.
Looks like the same 5 out there for the Stags. Coach Casey just putting the full trust in that unit.
I mean, why wouldn't you? They've willed you back into this game single-handedly, and in March it's all about momentum. You got to ride the hot hand, and that's Brendan Benjamin and Declan Wooker-Fennig right now. Albeit he just has 2 points, he has 6 rebounds, and that type of production you cannot keep on the bench, Kyle.
No, you cannot, and he'll be guarding the inbound here as we return back to play. St. Peter's going right by the Fairfield press here. Pass in half court will be Eaton. Going between the legs, screen to his right. Resets top of the key. And a foul. That's going to be an offensive foul going against St. Peter's there.
Yeah, that one's going to be on plan there. Just got a little bit too much of the arm extended there.
That is the team's 7th now. That number keeps adding and adding on here. There's a reason they lead the conference, like you said earlier.
Scrappy, but you got to be careful, Scrappy.
Benjamin hits the deck, lost control of the ball. St. Peter's will push pace here. And now they'll go behind the back, reset. Probably the smart play right there by Perkins. Perkins finds Williamson over to Eaton. Eaton accelerates into the paint, creates the contact, but can't finish.
Yeah, that's going to be on Mejia there. That's his 2nd. So Mejia, who came into the game for Rollins, they both have 2 fouls. Now you're going to see Tony Williams coming to the bench, as will Isaac Mankati, who's going to see his first minutes of the game.
Yeah, Mankati, someone who didn't see a ton of minutes in the last game, but the presence was certainly felt. Did a good job, attacking early. Hoping to see more of that tonight as the first free throw rolls in for Eaton.
Yeah, and Benjamin definitely needs a breather. He's still working his way back from that hip injury, and that's a careful injury there. He hasn't shown signs of fatigue, though, at all, but it's important to manage his workload in a sense, as he's going to be the X factor for this game.
Eaton sticks them both. That'll tie us up here, 18 apiece. 7 to go here in half number 1. Williams off the bench. He'll drop it off to Turner. Top of the key, Sparks. Heads to his left off the Mankati screen. Bounce pass, Wooker-Fennig. Mankati posting up. Going to work, kicks it out. Williams, 10 to shoot. Bounce pass to Deuce Turner. Turner spinning into the paint. Contested 2, that one might have had a piece of it there. It's going to stay with the Stags, although the Peacocks are loudly protesting that one.
Yeah, but this is where Fairfield's backcourt needs to step up with Benjamin off the court. Now you need to get them going. Not a lot of shots out so far, no points from them at all.
3 seconds on the shot clock. Off the inbound, Williams looking for help. He'll find Sparks. Got to get it up. One-legged three off the glass. It's in! Braden Sparks.
That's a Circus Olay shot if I've ever seen one. Fairfield, this might be a magical run. That was a magical shot there by Sparks.
Looking like LaMelo Ball right there. Sparks able to catch the contested ball, put it up, and in off the glass. Peacock's looking to respond. It's Eaton on the right wing. Guarded by Williams. Stutter step. Long two-point try. Fading. Won't go. Stags aren't there. Long rebound out to Bland. His triple is good, and that ties it up.
That's where dead balls kill you, Kyle. Nobody was there for that rebound. Just roaming around. But who's there? Bland, and he knocks down the three to tie this game right back up.
Stags got to keep the pressure rolling here. Deuce Turner looking to get something going for himself. Accelerates in. Backing down, looking out. Here's Sparks. Sparks pushing through to his right. And the foul called.
Yeah, Sparks got whacked there in the head there. A little bit of a weight whistle there, but the referee on top of that one. First 1-and-1 for Fairfield now, I think.
Yep, that's 8 fouls, so Braden Sparks will head to the line here for hopefully a pair.
But look, Kyle, you got 5 minutes and 37 seconds in the bonus. You can be at 1, you could be getting 2 if St. Peter's keeps this rate of fouling up. This is where free throws can make or break you.
Sparks takes a deep breath, fires away, and puts in the first. Something you just love to see right there. I'm sure Coach Casey, sigh of relief.
Absolutely. You know, on the year, he's an 81.1% free throw shooter, second among Stags qualified in that stat.
Knocks them both down. Stags at 23, Peacocks at 21. It's been a whole different story of basketball here in the last 10 minutes.
First game was wonky. This one's just wild.
Stags looking to keep up the defensive intensity. Here's Eaton on the left wing. Defended by Walker Fennig. Swings. Perkins to his left. Turns. Back up. Eaton. Driving by. Stepping back. Kicking it out. Perkins. The contested two. Way off there. Nice defense by Walker Fennig.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tough shot.
And not over-aggressive either. Didn't reach. Just used his size to his advantage. No easy shot.
Turner with a long three. That won't go. And that's the type of three you don't really want to see.
Don't love that shot with the momentum Fairfield has right now.
Eaton, he'll calm things down. Finding Williamson inside. McCarty standing strong. Williamson puts it up, just shy right there.
But
McCarty.
these are the X-factor minutes for McCarty when Benjamin's off the floor. Great stand there, holding his own in the paint defensively.
Braden Sparks holding on to it at the top of the key. Control the traffic here, Williams now. Deuce Turner. Look to find a higher quality shot here. He'll spin, find Williams, 8 on the clock, screen to his left. Flying down the baseline, putting up a prayer there. That one's rejected by Williamson. And last touch by Fairfield, it'll head to St. Peter's.
Yeah, and St. Peter's is doing well on the defensive end, blocking shots from this Fairfield backcourt.
It'll be Eaton to take it up. 4 minutes on the clock here. Who can head into halftime? The stronger team. Top of the key, the swing. They'll find Eaton on the left wing. Holding on to it. Looking for Williamson in the post. And foul called right there. It's going to be a hold on Braden Sparks. So that'll bring back in Benjamin and Zan when we return here. That'll be a timeout on the floor.
Yeah, but Sparks has 2 now, so he's got to be careful. He has acquired 5 already after being held scoreless for the majority of this first half. Trying to go back to that number on the blocks I was looking for. 4 blocks ready for St. Peter's. This is where, you know, you don't want to live and die by the 3, but you also don't want to make your offense one-dimensional. So Stags need to find a balance of getting their paint play, which has been great so far with Walker Fennig, Benjamin, and even Mancotti as of late here, although he has yet to score. But they need to have variety and, you know, start developing a mid-range and perimeter-oriented offense.
Right, you can't put it all on the back of Benjamin, right? I mean, obviously the 6-for-8 start, 14 points, you love it, but is it going to be, you know, are you able to maintain that? Probably not. So you're going to have to look to find some other guys on the court. You know, you want guys like Deuce Turner, Tony Williams to try to find it, but Williams struggling early on. He's 0 for 4. Deuce Turner 0 for 2, right? Those are the guys you want to get comfortable but have struggled early on.
You know, it's a little bit like Manhattan in the first half yesterday. Only 3 guys scored in all of that first half. It was Jones, it was Roxborough, it was Winston. So far, it's just Brendan Benjamin, and then Braden Sparks has 5, but then Worker Fenning Mejia have 2, and that's it for the Stags right now. So who other than Brendan Benjamin can step up and, you know, take care of business? Because, you know, St. Peter's is going to throw everything at Benjamin and then some to slow him down.
Yeah, I mean, Benjamin's been off the court the past couple minutes. The Stags have no field goals in the last 2:40, right? I mean, there's a correlation there. They've struggled on the offense without him. He'll come back into the contest, but you already know he's going to be ambushed by St. Peter's in the paint. It's going to create space and hopefully an opportunity to score.
Yeah, but fortunately for them, Fairfield's played some really good defense. St. Peter's no points in the last 2 minutes and 8 seconds, and they're held to just 35% from the court. So although we want to look at that 11-0 run to begin the game, Fairfield's defense has done a really good job, you know, keeping them in this game and helping them take the lead, turning quality defense into efficient offense.
We return to the floor here. Just about 4 minutes to go here. It's 23-21 Fairfield. It's been a streaky game for both teams. And, of course, these final 4 minutes here heading into half, huge for the momentum. It'll be 2 shots at the line here for Williamson.
Yeah, we talk about Fairfield not loving to play from behind. These are where these final 4 minutes of the first half are going to be the utmost importance.
Just 1 of 4 from the line tonight, Williamson. He's struggled at the stripe. See if that pattern continues here. And he laces the first.
Yeah, St. Peter's on the game now, 7 of 12 from the game. Fairfield just 3 of 6, so St. Peter's winning the volume battle from the free throw line.
You can tell he's taking his time here, really settling in. Williamson for the tie. Can't get it to go. And Brendan Benjamin with the rebound. Who else?
Yeah, he's already up to 8 now, Kyle.
The press barely beaten right there. It's going to force a foul. Deuce Turner grabbing the hard pass from Williams. He got hit in the back. So Bland picks up the foul, and Turner will head to the line.
Yeah, 1 more to go before they reach that double bonus there, Kyle. But I'm not trying to do any announcers, Jinx, but Turner has been the best free throw shooter for the Stags at an 83.6% clip.
See what he's able to do here. Both teams kind of have a stall here. You know, the heavy fouling. I mean, 16 combined. Turner can't make the first. And so it'll be St. Peter's basketball off the rebound. Here's Bland on the left-hand wing. Turner defends, swinging it up to Williamson. Defended by Zan, getting his first minutes. Nice hands right there by Turner, able to keep it in. Yes.
That's a way to make up for a missed free throw there.
Williams left wide open, and he puts it in for 3. Tony Williams.
He's struggled from this game so far, but hopefully that wide open 3 gets him going. Sometimes you need an easy one to fall to get you started.
You know, you'll take that. Can't fault him in transition. They didn't respect the 3, and he showed them why they need to. That one's lost right there. Bland barely kept it in behind the back pass, and that's a turnover. Not sure what the fanciness was for, but you'll take it if you're Fairfield.
Fanciness, when it doesn't equal success, it just looks that much more worse than St. Peter's in this tight game. You can't really be doing that. But Nasir Rodriguez getting his first minutes of the entire MAAC tournament here. So it's 3 bench guys and 2 freshmen.
Cross-court pass to Turner. The pump fake, the kick to Zan. Up top, Williams. Controlling traffic up to Turner. Calming it down the wing. Williams wants the screen from Benjamin. He'll take it to his right, swings Turner. Turner fakes the pass, goes into the paint, creates the contact, and can't finish.
Had Zan open there, would have liked to seen a pass there, but good job by Turner getting something out of that possession.
Yeah, you know, I think everyone was eyeing that corner right there. Ryan Zan parked there, but like you said, at least you're creating something here, but got to hit the Stags.
Yeah, Fairfield also had good luck from that corner last night. Hopefully they take advantage of that.
Yeah, 3 straight from that right side corner last night. Turner, the first one rolls out.
Yeah, just another free throw miss, another missed opportunity. 3 of 8 from the charity strike now.
You know, how many times can it be mentioned, right? It's just these free throw struggles just never fail to cease. Turner salvages the trip. He gets one.
Yeah, he said my bad on that one. Can't let that get to his head, though.
So Stags up 5 here. 2.5 to go in the first half. St. Peter's looking for a response. The spin. That ball's poked. Held on to, though. And he'll reset it at the top to Robinson. Robinson, nice defense by the Stags here. The double trap, just 8 to shoot. Drives into the paint. Kicks it into the corner for 3. Too strong.
That's a beautiful pass there, but a great board by Williams.
In transition, Deuce Turner, his triple. No good.
Rush that one.
Now it's a track meet, 2-on-2 to the cup. Totally lost it and taken away. Deuce Turner.
Fairfield's got numbers, 3-on-2.
The toss up to Benjamin. The one-hand slam is in. Brandon Benjamin.
Oh no, he hit him, his shoulder maybe. Hopefully they're just hyping him up. Yeah, he's smiling. He's okay.
He's back up. Brandon Benjamin. The control to make a play like that work. One hand, he's almost underneath the basket fully, and he's able to get that up and in for the strong finish.
Top 10 maybe?
Oh man, Brandon Benjamin. He finds his way onto those top 10s.
That got everyone out of our seats.
That is an emphatic play right there. He can finish it off here at the free throw line. It would make it a 7-0 run for the Stags here in the past minute and a half. And he'll do just that. That's 30 points now for Fairfield, and 17 of them belong to Benjamin.
MVP without a doubt. Maybe the best game, best first half from any MAAC performance thus far in this MAAC championship.
Bakare, the Peacocks are feeling the pressure here at the top of the key, just trying to get something in. Bland off to Robinson. Robinson to his left. The step back 3, banks it in.
Yeah, and that's what Turner's going to want back. He tripped him on the follow through on that shot. Definitely a little bit of a breakdown there defensively.
Couldn't believe that one right there. He was putting that up as he was falling and gets the bank in. He can make this a 4-point play here at the line. Huge for the Peacocks' momentum.
Yeah, and you know it turns into an 8-point lead to potentially 4. Cut that deficit right in half on one play. Big opportunity.
Robinson tonight, 6 points. Perfect from beyond the arc. And 0 of 2 at the line. For the 4-point play, Robinson can't get it to go. So both teams continue to struggle at the stripe.
Yeah, Fairfield just should slow things down here, get quality.
And Williams will do just that. He's slowing it down, taking his time, waiting for the right man to pop out. Benjamin screens to his left. The bounce pass to Turner. He'll kick. Long 3-point try. Much too strong right there.
Yeah, rush that one there, Rodriguez.
To the cup, that one lost on the ground, kicked out into the corner. The drive on the baseline, rejected by Benjamin.
I mean, where is he not in this game?
Doing it all. The pass, little too aired. You can see Coach Casey saying, calm it down right there. Deuce Turner trying to just push it up as fast as possible.
Yeah, he's trying to do everything, but doesn't need to. But let's look on the Jumbotron here. What an emphatic block by Benjamin. Wow, Zan with the good pressure, but Benjamin there to swat it for the extra effort.
44 blocks on the season for Benjamin, about 1.5 per game. He is a menace down low. You have to respect his authority there.
Also had 3 last game in that game against Manhattan.
So TJ Robinson will hold on to it here. We're under a minute. Peacocks looking to get it as close to even as possible before half. Here's Bland, creating separation inside. The pass is in. Nice little floater right there.
Yeah, I believe that was Ewing getting that one just past the reach of Benjamin.
Shot clock is off. The Stags will have the last one if they want it.
Yeah, don't do anything crazy here.
Williams just holding on to it. They'll take a timeout to talk things over before this last possession.
Yeah, you need to slow things down. This has been a crazy back and forth game. Everyone's flying all over the place. It's the complete opposite of the Manhattan game. But you need to slow things down, compose yourself, and be disciplined. heading into the locker room and try to make this a 2-possession game heading into the break.
Yeah, obviously you're going to be looking at Brandon Benjamin, the 17 points he's got, 7 of 9, 8 rebounds. He's got the block. Really just been doing it all. His number is going to be called again, time and time again, and the Peacocks know it.
But you have to look elsewhere. Who else needs to step up in this second half? I'm looking at the backcourt of Sparks, Williams, Deuce Turner, who's had a couple turnovers here early and a couple of little bit of mental lapses. You really got to fine-tune these things, as you know. St. Peter's going to throw the kitchen sink at Benjamin coming into the second half, and they're only going to be turning it up even more as the urgency as this game wanes down.
So 1 possession left here in this back and forth streaky half number 1. Certainly not how anyone drew it up. It'll be Ryan Zan on the inbound. Stags looking to end it here with a bang. Zan kicks it off to Williams. 1 last possession. Rodriguez finds Turner. Over to Zan. 6 on the clock. Zan finds Turner. Turner gets him in the air. Pass to Rodriguez. Fumbled away. And a foul called right before the buzzer.
Yep, so St. Peter's going to get a 1-and-1. That foul was absolutely before the final buzzer. It looked like Rodriguez and Turner had a miscommunication. Rodriguez tried to make up for it, but got too much of the leave that was eaten there.
Yeah, Turner got his defender fully in the air, elected not to shoot, went for the quick pass. I just don't think Rodriguez was expecting it. He wasn't ready. Off the hands, they lose it, and going back for it creates the foul and potentially more points for the Peacocks.
Yeah, and that's just, we talk about worst-case scenarios. That might have been the worst-case scenario for the Stags. I get what they were trying to do. It looked like there was miscommunication there between Turner and Rodriguez. But just give the play up. Don't make the extra effort to try and steal the ball when it's 50 feet from the basket on the other end.
So that's going to be 19 combined fouls here in this first half. A chippy game. Refs are not afraid to blow the whistle, but truly, these teams are really just going at each other. It's not like, these calls are questionable. Most of them are really just aggressive plays resulting in contact.
You can feel like this game is a winner go home. It feels like a championship, Kyle.
And the free throw is good right there from the line. Eaton puts it in, a chance to bring it to within 1. There's just .4 on the clock, so.
Yeah, so they're going to get Turner on the foul. That's important to note because that'll be his second foul. So 3 Stags now and 2 fouls.
And doesn't get the roll. The putback is in! The putback from Williamson. You can't write that. The game is tied at 30, and we're going to head to halftime even.
I mean, that's just this epitome of what this first half has been. Wacky, and they're going to be reviewing the play now if you can't make it any more crazier.
Yeah, .4, obviously you're going to have to take a quick look at this one, but Williamson, all he really had to do was just get a fingertip on it, just a touch to push it into the cylinder. The basket's confirmed. The game's going to be tied 30-30, a crazy first half between the Stags and the Peacocks.
Yeah, and that last 5 seconds, maybe not even, Fairfield's going to want back. You go from up 5 to now tied there because you obviously had the foul on Eaton there by Turner. And then the missed free throw, which could have been fortunate, but then Williamson just gets enough there. That's a backbreaker for Fairfield. But hey, considering how this game started, Fairfield's fortunate in a sense, but it's 0-0 essentially.
Yeah, certainly. The start of this game, you're thinking, oh boy, this might be a long one. Are we going to find our rhythm? They certainly did, but even then, right? The Peacocks ended that on an 8-0 run. So the Stags have certainly proved this is anyone's game right here. This is March, and this is playoff basketball at its best.
No better place to be than playoff basketball. This has easily been one of the most back and forth and entertaining games in the MAAC with highlight play after highlight play. Should be a second half you won't want to miss.
Yeah, just 15 minutes between us and the start of half number 2. Do not go anywhere here on WVOF. I'm Kyle Scano alongside Andrew Jameson. We'll catch you in 15. Welcome back from halftime here at the gym, Wheeling Boardwalk Hall. I'm Kyle Scannell alongside Andrew Jameson, and boy, was that a first half, man. A story of multiple runs, but both teams finding themselves knotted up here at 30.
Well, you said it, I think you said it at half. 1 minute you're on cloud 9 if you're Fairfield St. Peter's. The next you're facing an 8-0 run. Maybe the next one you have an 8-0 run. So who knows what's going to happen in this second half. It's been a roller coaster of a game. Both teams shooting at a 39% clip, looking to elevate that, but also the free throw mark. Both teams trying to increase, both at just 50%. That number won't win you the game at the end of the day. Could very well become a matter of who can get to the free throw line more and who can make more of their free throws.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We emphasized it at the top of the broadcast how important it was going to be, and both teams really didn't take advantage of the opportunities they got. But someone who really has taken advantage of this game is Brandon Benjamin. I mean, got to sing the praises of this guy. He's got 17 points, 7 of 9 from the field. Even's got a three-pointer on there. He's got 8 rebounds. I mean, he's just been doing it all tonight.
I mean, yeah, he's been doing it all. I mean, it's amazing to me where Fairfield would be without him this season. You know, you don't like to say one player is the team, but Brandon Benjamin has single-handedly put this team on his back. And considering this team started down 11-0, he has almost outscored St. Peter's since then, 19-17. St. Peter's to Benjamin after that 11-0 run.
Yeah, I mean, St. Peter's, you know, they're doing a good job mixing the ball around. You know, they don't have any double-digit scorers, but they have a lot of guys who, you know, they're passing the ball around. I mean, the most attempts is Bland with 6. Everybody else is shy of that and have done a pretty good job at moving the rock and getting those high-quality shots.
Yeah, but it's almost reverse. Fairfield's playing by committee yesterday. Manhattan had the 3 main guys. Fairfield today has the main guy in Brandon Benjamin. St. Peter's playing more by committee. Fairfield's going to need someone other than Brandon Benjamin to step up, though. I'm looking at Braden Sparks, just 5 points, 1 field goal attempt, and that one shot was a miraculous one-footed three-pointer, LaMelo Ball-esque. As you said, he's going to need more than 5, though, if the Stags want to win in advance to play on Sunday night, where they will face the winner of, I believe I want to say, Mount St. Mary's and Siena. Yes.
The clock strikes 0. The team's set back up here. It'll be Fairfield basketball as we return. Booker Fenig will take it in. The whistle sounds. Booker Fenig tosses in, and we are back. 20 minutes separate these two teams from a trip to round 3. Braden Sparks up top, Rawlings. Back to Sparks. Swings to Booker Fenig. Over to Rollins. The quick double team. Swings it. Booker Fenig. He'll try a triple, and he laces it.
Yeah, that's an encouraging start there for Booker Fenig, who struggled in the first game offensively, and in this half, just 1 of 5. No bigger bucket for him and AC so far than that one.
It's a great start out the half right there. Fairfield jumps up by 3. Look to keep that defensive pressure applied as Sparks strips it, and all the way to the basket, puts it in. Braden Sparks.
Turn defense and offense. Sparks' ability to still make an impact even when his shots aren't falling. Prime example right there on the defensive end.
It's now a quick 5-0 start for the Stags, looking to keep that rolling. Here's Perkins on the wing, swings to Williamson. Over to Robinson. To his left, bounce pass inside. Perkins. Booker Fenig had some hands on it, able to corral it and get away. Here's Bland. Stolen. Williams got a piece, can't hold on. Robinson goes to the cup. Up with the left. The roll's no good, and Booker Fenig has the rebound.
That's a great board there. He's at 9 now, I want to say.
Williams pulls in transition. Got it to go. Tony Williams.
And that's an 8-0 run here early by Stag. Fairfield bench is loving it, as is the Fairfield faithful that have made the trip to Atlantic City.
That's one way to open the half. The other team heading in with an 8-0 run. The Stags answered out the gates here. Bland circling around. Drops it off to Robinson. Robinson, stutter step. Between the legs and out to Bland. Back to Robinson. Benjamin sticking tight with him. The spin. The curl back. The long 2. Too strong. The putback from Williamson draws a foul.
Yeah, and Williams, I believe, was trying to draw a foul there. Just, was blocking Williamson there from making a play on there, but that's going to be a second. So now 4 Stags guards have 2 fouls. This could be something to watch moving forward. Normally we talk about Benjamin Booker Fenig in foul trouble. It's a little bit of the reverse today. But Fairfield pulling a reverse on St. Peter's with the hot start out of this half.
Yeah, I mean, there was 19 total fouls in that first half, so, the foul trouble was only a matter of time. But like you said, not the usual suspects. This will actually be underneath the basket here for the Peacocks. Got him in a nice trap right here. Almost got him on the violation. They'll get it in and reset to Robinson. Top of the key, Bland. Long triple. No good. Rebound fought for on the baseline. And going Fairfield way. That's off the leg right there, the knee, of St. Peter's. So.
Yeah, but you're seeing Coach Bashir Mason going box out, box out. There should be no reason that Williams is that close to the ball trying to make an effort, and it paid off there.
Stags facing the press right here. Booker Fennig pushes down the right-hand side, and we'll drop it off to Sparks. Braden Sparks swings it to Rawlings. Now to Williams. Williams chesting the hot hand. Can't catch anything. Booker Fennig with the save, pokes it away. Sparks, does he keep it in? Yes!
What a heads-up play by Sparks there. Realized the ball was going out. Looked at Eaton's foot, smacked it off there, and Fairfield keeps possession alive.
Way to keep it alive from Sparks. You can certainly, have just given up on that possession, but what a great effort right there. They have just 8 seconds here on the inbound. Sparks.
Conserves momentum, too.
Passes into Benjamin. Benjamin pulls and is rejected. Puts it back and draws the foul. Even when he's blocked, he finds a way to make something happen.
But that's why you follow your shot, Kyle. Benjamin could have easily just, watched that ball in the air, but no, he stuck with it, followed his shot. Now Fairfield's got 2 more chances at the line to add to this 8-0 run to begin the half.
That's back-to-back plays where, you could have just, given up on the play. Fairfield didn't, made something out of it. And when they come back here from this review, can get 2 more here and push it to a 10-0 run.
Yeah, I know it said it could directly parallel the first half when St. Peter's opened on 11-0 run. But I love how aggressive Fairfield has been from the jump, turning quality defense into quick offense. We saw Sparks on the steal, Williams on the 3. Fairfield's passing up a good shot for a better shot right now, and it's paying dividends. We talk about this team assist numbers being relatively low in the MAAC, just 11th in the conference, or around 12 per game. We've already got 3 this half.
Benjamin at the stripe sticks the first.
This is going to be a key point also, just 5 of 10 the first half from the charity strike. Fairfield got out to his heart lead. They need to maintain it. No better way to do it than with 3 free throws.
And the second free throw will make it a 10-0 run. So Fairfield up 40-30 now. Just about 3 minutes here into the second half. Robinson looking to put these Peacocks on the board. Off to Gupton. Back up top, Robinson. Screen from Williamson to his right. Bounce pass inside to the cutting Bland. He puts it off the glass and rolls out. Tipped away. And you're going to stay with the Peacocks there on the loose ball.
Yeah, and it looked like Bland's foot might be online. Spark is emphatic about a challenge. Rollins saying there's no need. There's no need. It's 50-50 balls. St. Peter's can't buy a bucket right now.
Eaton on the inbound, looking for help. Bland. He'll take it over the back. Defended by Booker Fennig on the right wing. Swings over to Eaton. Screen to his left. Top of the key. Dancing with Benjamin. Kicks it to the driving cutter right there. What a finish, TJ Robinson.
Yeah, and he needs to get going. Had a hot start to this game, but only has 8 points here, and you struggle from the free throw line, 0 of 3.
Stags looking to answer. Braden Sparks curls back. He'll take his time. Between the legs to his right, lost control of it and gave it away.
Yeah.
Robinson lost control, goes for the finish, and the putback is in by Eaton.
Rollins had his hands tied in that one. He wanted to swat that one knowing what type of player he is, but he can't get that 3rd foul.
So now just down to 6. The Stags got to keep the foot on the gas here. Tony Williams swings to Rollins. Rollins finds Sparks, the senior leader here. Inside Benjamin, nice pass, wide open, 2-hand slam for Rollins.
Benjamin not doing it on the dunk there, finding the open man in Rollins. Good to get his confidence going for his first points in the game, but Benjamin at the heart of that play again.
Here's Eaton, working his way around 2 screens. Gets the matchup on Benjamin, crosses right, goes left, step back. Pushes now into the left, paints, and he'll curl around and reset. Robinson, 8 to shoot. Dancing with Booker Fennig, steps into the paint. driving on the baseline, kick it out. A corner three, too short. And Benjamin lost the rebound. The putback by Williamson is good.
That's points off turnovers. Not ideal there. Benjamin had the rebound, just bounced off Williamson's foot, got it right back, put it up for 2.
Tony Williams breaking the press inside. Rollins going after the contact, can't finish, no call. Bland pushes it up now to Eaton. Eaton flying in 1-on-3, kicks it out to the cutter in. Nice bucket right there.
Yeah, and everyone's flying right now. It's a track meet. It feels like an enhanced track meet where everyone's just going not 100, but 125.
It's just a 4-point game, just like that. Williams pushing it up the right side. He lost it.
Yeah, nerves are getting there. It's getting a little bit of an adrenaline rush, and the St. Peter's crowd's getting back into it.
It's the same thing we saw with Deuce Turner under a minute there, throwing it away, making that arid, that arid play when you're on a good momentum streak, but you just gotta, keep yourself grounded. As that does send us to a media timeout here. Stags are up 42-38, about 5 minutes here into half number 2.
But it's about Fairfield limiting those turnovers, not doing anything unnecessary. Turner going off adrenaline to end the half with that arid pass. Williams having a way too high of a dribble, which is just prone for an interception or to be, messed with. Fairfield's got to calm down, composure. Fortunate timing for the media timeout right here, right now. So Case doesn't have to burn a timeout, but he can kind of calm his team and get them back into the groove that they were when they were on that 8-0 run to begin the second half.
Yeah, it's really just a mindset thing. I mean, these guys knew exactly what they were coming in, what they were planning to do, but, every time this game we've seen them get on that really strong run, they get into their heads a little bit. Maybe they get a little overzealous and just start making plays that they wouldn't have normally made, right, in a close game, but because you're on a run, they settle for something that normally they never would have.
No, and looking at the stats, Fairfield, like you'd think about, settling for threes. Fairfield hasn't shot many threes, but when they have, they've been relatively successful. 5 of 12 from beyond the arc. And, one of those was a Cirque du Soleil, granted, from Braden Sparks, but it's been a much more balanced overall game. Now it's just, I think, the main thing is limiting those turnovers, because as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, there's no better team in the MAAC than St. Peter's at forcing turnovers. They average 13.79 turnovers a game and lead the MAAC in points off turnovers per game.
Yeah, the difference is just 10-8 right now. The Fairfield with 10, St. Peter's with 8. It was certainly prevalent at the start, right? That 11-0 run, the Stags really couldn't find anything, but they've done a much better job here as the game's progressed at, making careful passes and getting right through that, St. Peter's defense.
No, now it's just a matter of who's going to step up. Sparks is saying a little bit of life. He's up to a sneaky 7. Tony Williams is someone you kind of got to control a little bit and, make him make winning plays, but don't put it all on his shoulders. That's where, you need Deuce Turner. That's where you need Halen Rollins. But, these Stags backcourt guards, they're all in foul trouble with 2 fouls apiece. So it's playing aggressive, but a disciplined type of aggressive.
Yes, disciplined, complacent. This team has to keep their head grounded coming out of this timeout. You're up 4, 12-8 difference on the half so far, but this has been a game to, cater to runs, and coming out of a timeout, you want to be on the better half of that.
Oh, this one's absolutely going to come down to probably the final possession. It absolutely feels like that there, Kyle. But that word complacent for me is tricky for me because you always have two ends that you can't always have the belt have at the same time. Being overly aggressive and being soft a little bit. Fairfield, the last thing it'd do is soft because then St. Peter's just going to take it to the paint and then capitalize every time.
Yeah, I mean, the 19 fouls, neither of these teams are afraid to go right at each other.
Just 2 so far, though, so hey, maybe something worked.
We're back in action here. St. Peter's basketball as Eaton handles it on the right wing. Up to Bland, back to Eaton. Eaton at the top of the key, Williams sticking with them. Over to Bland. Swings it across the body. Bland on the right wing. Back to Eaton. Eaton tries a triple. A little too short. Offensive rebound collected right there. Nice play.
Another dead ball rebound there. Scroggins is back in, and he's going to be a threat for Benjamin, who has a size match on him.
Yeah, Scroggins has fresh legs right now. Eaton takes a screen from him. Hits the ground, and Rollins will pick it up, the turnover there. And Sparks hits the ground. Coming up, he'll find Williams.
Coach Mason wanted to travel, but the main thing, getting their guys back.
Braden Sparks, right-hand wing, looking for some help. He'll find Williams. Williams inside. Benjamin getting to work on Scroggins to his left. Spins right. Goes up and doesn't get the bounce to go. Bland. Two-hand grab on the rebound.
Yeah, that's one goes 9 out of 10 times for Benjamin, though. Just couldn't get the bounce and a roll there.
Eaton forces up a long two-pointer. That won't go. Scroggins the second chance. The pass inside is good for Perkins. A two-hand slam.
Benjamin just didn't see that ball entirely there, and it cost them there. Scroggins was keeping his eye on the ball from start to finish and was able to get it and corral it for 2.
Booker Fenig crossing half court. He'll opt to give it back to Williams. Just a 2-point separation here. Stags looking to find some offensive rhythm. Benjamin, a quick pass inside to the cutting Booker Fenig. He scores and one.
And boy, was that needed for Booker Fenig. Hasn't had a point all half. We've praised his rebounding numbers with 7 already, but that's a big basket that he needed. You know, he's a big threat when he gets inside the paint and can dunk. We saw it on that 3 earlier, but when he's offensively clicking, his Stags team unlocks a new potential.
Yeah, and that was not an easy one to make right there. There was just a split second to get that pass off in the window between the defenders, and then, of course, get the tough angled shot up. He'll complete the 3-point play. The Stags go back up by 5.
Stags 3 of 3 from the line to start, so definitely an encouraging sign here despite a small sample size.
Eaton carrying it up. Drops it off to Perkins. Back up top, Eaton. Takes the screen to his left. Step back. The lob is in, and it's good. Two-hand dunk by Scroggins.
Scroggins has Benjamin's number right now after that under 16 media timeout.
Booker Fenig pushing it up. He'll find Rollins. Rollins is doubled. Goes to his left. Finds Benjamin inside. Benjamin fakes left. Goes right. Spins up and in with the layup.
I think he heard me again. I know the teams love to give me the announcers jinx, but Benjamin, I think, definitely heard me on that one.
Right back to work in his office. Stags back up by 5. Eaton cuts to the right-hand baseline. The floater won't go.
Walker
Draws
Fennig
contact.
got him on a follow-through, and he's been all over the place. He might be cramping a little bit, but Walker Fennig, that's just his first, though. So not cause for concern yet, but definitely, got to stay disciplined.
Eaton really been everywhere. He's got 8 points, but 6 of them from the free throw line. Just done a good job at getting to the paint, creating contact. And he'll head to the line here for the Peacocks.
St. Peter's on the game, just 8 of 16 from the charity strike.
His first of 2 is good.
You guys see the first subs here as Mejia's going to check in for Rollins for the Stags, and looks like it will be
Williamson for the Peacocks.
Yep, Williamson, and I believe that's going to be Bakari checking in as well.
Williamson, really strong first half, crashing the boards, getting those offensive second chances. Look to limit that here if you're Fairfield.
Yeah, Benjamin probably want to be dialed up a notch with Scroggins out now again.
Misses the second.
1 of 2 again from St. Peter's has been the story of the game. Even just a few of those made free throws could be tied or even in the lead.
Williams pushing himself all the way to the basket and 1 off the glass. Tony Williams.
That's 2 straight and 1 for the Stags, and 2 from the freshmen who don't play like freshmen, all honesty. We said that time and time again with the 4 freshmen in the starting lineup, but Casey's playing him, and he's got the full utmost confidence in him right now.
That's another play, where Williams scores again, where they're just giving him too much space, right? He had that 3-pointer in the first half where they laid him off, and there it is again where they just give him the space in the paint, and he takes it to the strong left-hand side and looks to complete the 3-point play here, as he'll miss that one, so can't quite finish it, but still a strong 2-point bucket.
Yeah, not a great shot there. Was very short on that one.
Eaton will handle it. He'll go to the left-hand side, backing down Mejia. He'll come back out. Benjamin switches on. Pass across the court. Spinning, working on Sparks. The bank is no good. Gupton can't finish.
Yeah, Benjamin used his size on, I believe that was Scroggins there.
Sparks draws the foul, pushing the ball up the court there.
Not Scroggins, excuse me, Bakari. But yeah, another foul for St. Peter's. Going to be at the under 12 media timeout here. Fairfield, 3 of their last 3.
Yeah, that's a great way to head into the timeout. Fairfield, again, really uncharacteristic. Honestly, they're doing a really good job of just continuously playing to their strengths, right? Sometimes the other teams end up playing their style of basketball. Fairfield ends up having to adapt and play from behind, but it's kind of the opposite case today.
It absolutely is, and that's what type of March is. One game's going to be this high-flying grit and grind game. This game's been both in that sense. There have been highlight plays after highlight plays, but then you look at the score and it's only 49-43, and I know yesterday's magic number was 71, and I think I said 62 at some point in the broadcast yesterday, but this is a game of runs, and honestly, don't even think about counting St. Peter's out just yet, They had an 8-0 run, remember, at the end of the first half with that crazy sequence which was capped by the tip and by Williamson to tie it headed into the break.
Yeah, there's no telling what these final 12 minutes are going to have in store for us, but what we do know is the rebound battle is such a pivotal point, and it's pretty close. Fairfield at 29, Peacocks at 25, both with 10 of them on the offensive side. So they're matching each other there.
Benjamin's got 12 of those. Wooker-Fennig has 7. 7 offensive rebounds between the two of them combined. We talked about who's going to be at the forefront of the rebounding battle. We were talking about Benjamin Wooker-Fennig. They have answered the bell and then some so far.
Yeah, absolutely. They've certainly answered the bell. What we really need now is the bench, right? We need, the 6th and 7th guy off the bench to really make themselves known right now, because this is their time. When a couple minutes, these starters need rests about the halfway point here. This is where you want to put the foot on the gas.
And I'm looking at Eric Mejia and Deuce Turner in particular. Deuce Turner, a veteran, was 6th man of the year back at San Diego. But then Eric Mejia, who when Tony Williams was out that one game with the hand injury, he had 16 at Quinnipiac, and he kept that momentum up despite still coming and had 10 in that game against Siena also. Had double figures also in that game against Manhattan. You don't win by yourself in basketball. Basketball is a team sport for a reason. Not one person can carry the weight. And, Benjamin is 21, yes, but you look at there have been nice contributions from Williams, from Wooker-Fennig, from Sparks, that have given the Stags this lead.
Stags look to hold on to this lead here, come out of timeout. It's going to be their basketball. 11:40 to play. Stags up 49-43 here in this round 2 matchup of the MAAC men's basketball tournament.
So, Brent Bland is going to be checking back into the game for the Peacocks, the first team All-MAAC honoree who averaged 14 in the regular season. One of 7 players in D1 to average 14, have 2 steals, and shoot at least 35% from beyond the arc.
It'll be Wooker-Fennig to inbound as we return to play here at Jim Whelan Boardwalk Hall. Stags looking to push the pace. Tony Williams will find Sparks at the top of the key over to Wooker-Fennig. Wooker-Fennig retreats it and gets it back to Williams. Top of the key, just 7 to shoot. Got to get some urgency. Hits the accelerator. Williams lost control, spinning, fading, circus shot, put back, draws a foul.
Yeah, that was just sporadic there for Williams, but nice job by Sparks following that shot. St. Peter's defense got caught napping and gave a push from the back.
That's another play where the Stags don't give up. It looks like a lost possession, and they make something out of it.
That's Bakari getting beat once again there. St. Peter's 5th already. They only have 1 more to give again. They got Stags under the bonus to that 5-minute mark within the first half. Could very well be a similar story in the second half, but that one on the floor.
Underneath the basket for the Stags, Sparks to inbound. He'll find Benjamin on the left wing, back to Sparks. Sparks tries the corner 3, too strong. Wooker-Fennig on the putback. Out of bounds, St. Peter's basketball.
Right idea there by Wooker-Fennig, trying to use his height and his great jump to get that offensive board. Just couldn't get the finesse and the touch there.
So St. Peter's to bring it up. Crossing half court, 11 minutes to play. Fairfield up by 6 here in this back and forth contest. It's Brent Bland dropping it off. TJ Robinson dancing into the paint. Lost his balance, and that's going to be a travel.
They're going to get a travel there. It looked like Robinson there wanted a foul before the travel, but, lost his footing there in the paint. And, another turnover for the Peacocks there. 10 apiece so far in this game.
Stags got to make something out of it here. Mejia, he'll pick it up in the press. Get it up to Williams. Williams, a strong pass inside. Wooker-Fennig, he'll push in. Create the contact, goes up, can't finish. Wooker-Fennig gets his own board.
Great board.
Ball's tipped up. Sparks saves it on the right wing. He'll drive in with his left. Pulls up. Got to get rid of it there. That would have been rejected. Mejia bumps the defender, kicks it out. Braden Sparks, long three-pointer, no good. And Benjamin got a hand on it, but Perkins ends up with it.
Yeah, long possession there from the Stags. Couldn't get it to fall, though. A tough shot there for Sparks.
Elijah Perkins working into the paint. He's got the space on Sparks. Sparks hits the deck. Perkins back up. A three from Bland. Bounces high and over the top of the glass.
You know, the refs have been letting them play as of late there. You saw a push in the back there. Sparks, you know, we talked about last night putting his body on the line yesterday. That was one of the questions I think that you asked. No different there, and Sparks has talked to the ref now that he's holding me. He's holding me. But, you know, he's got to be physical and, you know, match Bland's physicality. We talk about one of the better rebounding guards in the MAAC. He's got to match that right now.
Scroggins back into contest for the Peacocks. We're going to cross the halfway point here in the second half. 49-43, Fairfield up by 6.
2.5 minute scoring drought in the entire game right now.
Braden Sparks looking to end it. Kicks to Mejia. Now Williams driving on the left-hand side. Layup's good. Tony Williams.
What a finish there by Tony Williams as he's making sure Robinson's hearing it, but's got to be careful with the composure.
Yeah, last thing you want to do in a unnecessary foul, get something going your way. Williams sticking right with Robinson here on the half court. They'll switch the assignment. They'll get it off to Bland. Bland. Booker Fenig sticking with him. Over to Elijah off the glass and in.
What a finish there.
Elijah Perkins.
Yeah, he's been a quiet game. He's only up to 4 now. He's got to get going. One of the starters for this Peacocks team.
Braden Sparks takes the Booker Fenig screen. Between the legs, kicks to Mejia, over to Williams. Williams screen to his right. He's doubled. Step back triple. Just a bit short. Booker Fenig gets the second chance.
What a board, and he had one hand on that only, too.
Another possession that looks like it's dead. They bring it back. Mejia drives baseline. Kicks Booker Fenig. Steps in, over to Williams. Long two-pointer. Butter.
And those second chance points are worth ×2 essentially now. Booker Fenig with another clutch rebound. He's at 9 now, 1 away from 10.
Williams just got himself into double digits. He's got 10 now. And the Peacocks need some momentum of their own. TJ Robinson dancing at the three-point arc with Benjamin. He'll control the traffic. Goes to his left. And rejected by Benjamin from behind.
Yeah, and he made sure he got all of that one. Booker Fenig with the good initial defense, staying with Robinson toe-to-toe there. Benjamin just there for extra measure.
Eaton checks back into the contest alongside Gupton. So they're just trying to find these rotational changes to solve this Fairfield offense.
Benjamin now with 5 blocks, 9 in the game, just in Atlantic City. Had 3 in that first game in Manhattan. That's his second tonight.
Eaton tosses it up, stolen. Easy pickings for Braden Sparks.
And I think clock is your friend here if you're Fairfield now. Don't worry about rushing, going off adrenaline. Get quality.
Benjamin on the baseline, spinning, working, pushing it up and in. Brandon Benjamin.
Or is that?
That'll do. Brandon Benjamin, have a day. He's got 23.
I mean, he's just going off right now. He's on rookie mode, Kyle. Just everything is at will right now. He is showing no mercy, even on Scroggins, who had his number for a little bit of the second half early on.
The nice soft touch there with the hard contact, making it go. Benjamin heads to the line where he is 4 of 5 tonight. Fairfield up double digits now, leading by 10 here with 8 minutes to go in this second half. Make it 11.
Benjamin's career high is 26, so he is teetering on that mark, but I'm sure that's the last thing on his mind right now. He had 26 in that game at Sacred Heart in that 92-87 win on the road back on February 5th.
St. Peter's here looking to get something going. The 2 seed, their first game of the tournament here. The Stags spooking them here. Can the Peacocks get something rolling? It's top of the key, Gupton. Dancing with Mejia into the paint, up and in off the glass for 2.
That's a great finish there by Gupton there. You know, taking advantage of the smaller Mejia there. Mejia did a good job not fouling there, though. You know, Fairfield's only got 2 fouls this half. St. Peter's is at 6, so, you know, Fairfield's have positivity coming in to this under 8 media timeout, but would keep going. Foot on the gas, foot on the gas, foot on the gas in this game of runs.
7.5 to go. Yep, we're in the timeout here. Fairfield. Wonder if we're going to see Benjamin, even just a few minutes on the bench. But, of course, last time they did that, we saw the ensuing run that St. Peter's went on. So you obviously got to be careful, but you also don't want to push your stars too hard, or else they might run out of gas by the end.
No, and that's where it's tricky as a coach, because you have rotations that work, and these plus minuses, if I can get it right here on the stats, I don't know what it is, but Benjamin's got to be at least, you'd think, plus 15, maybe even 20 when he's on the court.
Yeah, I mean, he is just a positive, impact out there every single time. I mean, he has 29 minutes, so he's been out here for most of the game, but it's noticeable when he's not, right? I mean, teams don't have that fear as much when driving to the basket, right, as they do when he's out there, especially Worker-Fennig as well. Just the 8 points, but he's got 9 rebounds himself, doing a good job at, really making his presence known.
And it's very hard to teach just physicality and effort. It's one of those things where you either have it or you don't. You have to unlock that next gear. And in this second half, it's particularly on the rebounding band, which was a big struggling point last year, Fairfield has turned around and become the best rebounding team in the MAAC this year.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at the other side, right, and you look for that, that key player, that star, and it's just not really showing right now for the Peacocks. I mean, they're playing good team basketball at their best today, but just no standouts. I mean, leading scorer Eaton, just 1 of 6 on the field goal. He's relying heavily from the free throw line. So, you look at what Fairfield's done, you look at what the Peacocks have done, and right now I'm liking where Fairfield's at.
Fairfield is happy where they are, but they can't be complacent. As you said, that complacence is that key word. But you have to look, what if St. Peter's made a couple of their free throws? Just 9 of 18 on the game. Fairfield started 5 of 10. They're 4 of 5 this half. St. Peter's still 50% this half. So, and St. Peter's is in foul trouble. They've already got 6 fouls this half. They have no more to give. Fairfield's done a good job on the discipline end. They have 4 players with 2 fouls, but they only have 2 fouls this half as well. 1 on Worker-Fennig, and then believe the second one was on, believe that was not Rollins, who's on the bench now currently, but I think it might have been on Sparks, that other one. But you gotta not foul, because if you foul, you give your opponent another chance, and that's the last thing you want to give any opponent, more chances to cut into the lead.
Yeah, I mean, they've shown maturity on that. We've seen fast break plays where, you could go for that swat from behind, but when the Stags, weren't confident in it, they just, kept the hands up, played it safe, and, surrendered the points in means of no foul. We're back in play. Worker-Fennig will run the baseline, and the Stags will push it up. As they have numbers here, Sparks elects to let it fly. That's going to be a bit short. Worker-Fennig collects the rebound. Sparks pushes in, kicks out, a triple, rolls out.
Yeah, 2 quality looks there from beyond the arc, just couldn't get them to fall.
Robinson on the right-hand side, pushes it back up top, defended by Worker-Fennig. Goes to work, kicks it, corner, the triple. No good, same roll right there.
Too much room there for Gupton. He's going to want that one back. These rims have been unforgiving, we've seen throughout the course of the day, though.
So 7 minutes to go. Fairfield leads 56-47 here. It's the 7-seeded Stags coming up against the 2-seeded St. Peter's Peacocks. Doing a good job here as Sparks dives into the paint, kicks it out. Williams cutting in, fading, tough 2, got it.
How good has he been in the second half? He's up to 14 here. He sometimes just chucks it for 3, but he's making it uncomfortable in the perimeter. Not in the perimeter, in the mid-range.
Great work in the mid-range right there from Williams. He was draped by 2 defenders, but he got himself space and put it in. Eaton needs an answer, driving on Benjamin, spinning, tossing it away, one-hand pass.
Fortunate there, Bland was in the right spot at the right time.
7 to shoot for Bland, swings it. Inside, the one-handed floater off the glass, no good. The putback up off the glass, into the hands of Braden Sparks.
Worker-Fennig in the center of that scrum again.
Stags controlling the pace here. You said it earlier, clock's your friend. Pass inside, Benjamin fakes up, goes with the left.
Nice.
But a travel.
Yep, that was absolutely the right call there. Benjamin didn't realize, I think he had as much room as he did. Took 1 too many steps there, but really encouraging pass there. Fairfield passing up good shots for better shots.
Like the vision right there from Benjamin, but yep, 1 too many there. That'll send us to a quick timeout here. 6 minutes on the clock. Fairfield up by 11 here, 58-47.
You have to like what you're seeing. I think Chris Casey going in that huddle now, it's, execute the fundamentals, stay true to our brand of basketball and what's been working. It's hard to believe, really, this team was down 11-0. Just imagine if they didn't have this 11-0 skid to begin this game. They're up 11 right now, so it just really goes to show you when Fairfield's clicking, they can be, I could say, the dark horse in the MAAC championship this year. I know MAAC's a very tough and formidable team. They almost swept the regular season awards, but Fairfield could very well give them a run for their money.
Yeah, the single elimination tournament here for a reason. Any team's got a chance at it when they're playing their best basketball, and Fairfield has shown not just glimpses, but, long stretches of that tonight, and it's why they're in the lead.
Yeah, but looking ahead, if Fairfield were to win this game, nonetheless, it's still a rare off day for WVOF tomorrow. It's going to be the three seeds through the 6 seeds battling it out. So we'll be doing our scouting days. Fairfield will play, the women's side at least, the winner of that Mount St. Mary's, who are the 6 seed, and MAAC, who is the 3 seed. And then on the men's side, the winner of this matchup between St. Peter's and Fairfield will play the winner of number 3 seed Siena and number 6 Mount St. Mary's, who beat Fairfield convincingly at home on the Stag Senior Day to clinch that final first round bye.
Right, yeah, that was a tough one there to wrap up the season, but use it as motivation, right? I mean, these games, they're here for a reason. You can play your best basketball. You can leave the past in the past, and the Stags have done that today. Like you said, that 11-0 run, able to turn their backs on that and, play excellent basketball here in this second half. They are currently up 28-17, right? They scored 30 in that first half.
Yep.
And could cross that here with 6 minutes to go.
And I still find it really interesting what Coach Galler of Manhattan said yesterday. I don't know what I saw on the Mount St. Mary's game film. That was nothing like this team. But this team heading into this Manhattan's game yesterday had won 11 of their last 16. It didn't feel like them on that performance, but Fairfield has come out and played their brand of basketball, winning the rebounding battle, being physical, feeding Benjamin and Wooker Fennig, and it's resulted in what's on pace, at least right now, to be a career day for Benjamin. And Wooker Fennig deserves his flowers as well, despite just having 8 points. He's got 11 of rebounds, 6 of them on the offensive end.
Yeah, it's exactly what we highlighted at the start of the matchup. This team has been getting it done as they return to the floor here. Benjamin, Wooker Fennig, Mejia, Williams, and Sparks are back on for the Stags, as it'll be St. Peter's basketball. We return to play here. 6 minutes to go. Stags up 11, 58-47. And we're back. Eaton takes the inbound, and he'll bring it up for the Peacocks. Williams draws the assignment. They'll swing it out to Perkins. Perkins bounce pass inside, stripped away Williams.
What a poke by Williams, and great job by Benjamin walking the tightrope there on that sideline.
Good save right there. And a good poke, like you said, by Williams. He'll bring it up.
Clock is your friend, though.
Wooker Fennig, corner 3. Got it.
So is a three-pointer, though. Wooker Fennig's had timely three-pointers. He's now in double digits and has a double-double. 11 and 11.
Big men are finding success on the three-point arc today for the Stags, and it's proving great dividends here now. They are up convincingly. Long three-point try, hits back iron out. Nice save by Scroggins, battling his way inside, hitting the deck. And that will be a timeout call.
But how about Fairfield jumping on that loose ball, forcing Bashir Mason to take a timeout there? I didn't love that shot there from Eaton. You're still not in desperation mode, I feel like, yet if you're St. Peter's, because they've shown they can go on an 8-0 run within 2 minutes just like that. But, you're not in desperation mode yet. I know the urgency is picking up as the game's winding down, but the three ball isn't always the way to cut a lead, because if it just doesn't go down, you're risking a quick opportunity right down the other way.
Yeah, those are the shots that we saw from the Stags yesterday in the first half against Manhattan that kind of had you scratching your head, early in the shot clock, a couple feet behind the line. Just not necessary, right? You got 5 minutes, you got plenty of time, and maybe Eaton just feeling a bit of the pressure of this drought. 2.5 minutes they haven't scored now. Going to have to come out of this timeout strong.
Absolutely. And who are you going to go to? I think the first mind go with Brent Blandville. You have to give credit to Fairfield's defense for limiting him today. Just 8 points on 3 of 9 shooting. He does have 7 rebounds and 2 assists. He is still making plays elsewhere, but he also has 3 personal fouls, and nothing's come easy for him. But he's a first-team All-MAAC guy for a reason. He can pick it up in an instant. Sparks has shown that, and Bland, I know, certainly can do so as well.
Back into play off the inbound. St. Peter's basketball. On the wing. Dancing with Williams. Pops the two-pointer. Too strong. And the rebound corralled there. Nice play by Mejia.
Yeah, 2 Peacocks went for that rebound, but ended up with a stag.
Tony Williams crossing half court. Swinging to Mejia. Pass inside Benjamin. Benjamin against Scroggins. Matchup of the night. Curls. Tucks it up. Doesn't get the roll. Benjamin can't get it there.
Tough shot there, though, but it almost went in, which was surprising, so good on his part, maybe.
The lob up and in. Scroggins throws it down. Too much space, too much time for the big man.
Yeah, absolutely, but, speaking of space and time, the clock is your friend for Fairfield there. Don't force anything if you don't need to.
4.5 to go. Williams crossing half court. Perkins staying glued with him. He'll find Mejia. Mejia dancing with Bland. Behind the back to his left. Puts it up and in. The and one, Eric Mejia.
No bigger bucket from the bench. We talked about bench production being a focal point for Fairfield today. That might be the biggest bench bucket of the season there. And who else other than Eric Mejia, who has come on strong this season as of late.
That is just a very calculated move right there by Mejia. Took his time, using those steps to the best of his ability, creating space, up with the left, and in. He'll look to complete the three-point play here.
Fairfield now on the bonus, though, important to note.
That one falls short, rebound tipped, and going to go with the Peacocks.
Looked like that was off St. Peter's, but Casey wants to keep the momentum going, not worth stopping the game and the momentum to challenge a call. Just got to execute right now here if you're Fairfield in this final 4:19.
Coming out in the press, Wicker-Fenig battling, able to force the pass away, but Peacocks are able to push it up. T.J. Robinson back into the contest for these final 4 minutes. He'll drop it off to Bland. Now up top, Perkins swings it. Bland, his triple. Bullseye.
Yeah, and he needed that one, as did the Peacocks in a big way. Bland now in double digits with 11.
Stags pushing it up here. Going to be complacent here. Use that clock. Mejia. He'll let it fly. And he got it.
We talk about slowing the game down, but if they're giving you that much room, you got to make them pay Mejia to just that there.
Great answer from Mejia. Robinson looking to keep the flurry of baskets going. Williams, nice steal. He'll push it up all the way to the basket. He'll get the foul as he threw up a prayer there, just looking for contact, and he got it.
Yeah, and Fairfield's got to calm down right here, though. I understand that they're hype and they're excited, but, the bench being on that far deep on the court, this game is not over yet. I'm all for energy, I'm all for hype, but, composure, we got to balance.
That's a timeout there, so another break for these teams. 66-52 separates the two clubs with just 3.5 to go. The Stags just playing unprecedented basketball, winning that rebound battle, 36-32. Just doing a great job of these second chance efforts. I can't count the amount of times that it looks like a play has been dead and they find a way to get it back to life and make something of it.
I know dead balls aren't recorded on this live stat sheet that we have online, but they are on the paper score sheet we'll get in the post-game interview, so I'm fascinated to see. But it feels like these 50-50 balls, a lot of them are going Fairfield's way as this game's going on, and it very well may be one of the key differences in this game. Fairfield lost the first 2 meetings. Big part of this was three-point shooting and free throws. Fairfield has won the three-point shooting battle, albeit by a small margin, but free throws are going to be very important down the stretch. Don't keep St. Peter's hanging around. Make your free throws, stay calm, cool, and collected at the line.
Couldn't say it any better, right? I mean, they've had a solid day at the line, 9 of 16. I mean, it's only 56%, but this team has seen worse days, especially in the clutch. Much better job in the second half of cleaning up the charity stripe shots. Just looking to play smart basketball for 3.5 here.
Considering how this game started also from the charity strike, 1 of 4, it is encouraging, but I already know, I can expect Coach Casey at the press conference, saying, I know we're a better free throw shooting team, and we're going to show that should Fairfield move on and win this game.
So both teams deep into the huddles here, making sure they're on the same wavelength here. Expect to see the similar 5 out here for both clubs.
But about Fairfield right now, it's not fouling. It's not giving up easy three-pointers to get St. Peter's back in this game. But right now, It's about Tony Williams making his free throw, who's really had a quality game. We've talked a lot about Benjamin, and rightfully so. Tony Williams has 14 points, and he's not doing it all from the perimeter. He's cutting to the hoop, he's finding the right guys, and he's putting together an all-around really solid game and showing why he is worthy of being inserted into that starting lineup toward the middle of December.
Yeah, Tony Williams, scrappy player, right? I mean, doesn't really have the height advantage on anyone on the court, but he makes his moves. He pesters people. He just does a good job of moving around, creating space, and finishing on those tough shots. He's heading to the line here, looking to put 2 more in for the Stags.
And more importantly, he's matching the physicality. He's putting his body on the line. You need to put it all on the line in these winner-go-home games, and he has done that tonight and then some.
Tony Williams taking a deep breath here, fires the first and connects.
Yeah, Tony Williams now up to 15 now. Curious what his career high is. We might be on another career high watch. Benjamin's still at 24. His career high is 26, but Williams could very well be approaching that mark, his mark as well.
Williams puts them both in. 68-52 now. Fairfield just keeps growing this lead here, and they'll stay in the press. As Bland grabs it, Sparks sticking with them. Bland hits the accelerator and pops the 3. High arcing shot. Can't find the rim. Loose ball put up. Can't put it in.
Booker Fennig again, tipping it out to Sparks. If there's a ball, Booker Fennig's there.
Williams directing the traffic, crossing half court. Pushes to his right, kicks. Mejia fakes left, goes right into the paint. Up and can't finish. But Booker Fennig grabs the second chance. Spins, kicks to Benjamin, and he'll reset to Mejia. Sparks to his right, cuts back in. Baseline drive, reverse lay, rejected. Puts it back up at the buzzer. Can't get it to go.
Offensive boards again. There's Benjamin this time. He's now in double figures, rebound, and he's been in, but that's just another one.
So another 20 seconds for the Stags. Mejia dancing, kicking it up. Booker Fennig goes to his right. Back Mejia. 6 to shoot. The long 2-point try is tipped and rejected. And it's Brandon Benjamin again. The putback is in.
I mean, this team just is not quitting right now. If there's a ball, it doesn't matter. Fairfield's going for it no matter how much time's left on the shot clock.
Another offensive rebound. Another offensive chance. I mean, you can't make it up. That's going to be an offensive foul. That's a clear elbow from Robinson.
And Tony Williams doing snow angels to celebrate? That new one?
They're having fun with it. That's just frustration from T.J. Robinson right there.
Yeah, I don't think I could have said it better there myself. St. Peter's, we know them for their scrappy nature, but Fairfield's meeting them where they are, I guess. I don't want to say playing to your competition, but matching your opponent's style and energy, and to some extent, not to some extent, is outplaying them right now in that regard.
So just 2 minutes to go. The Stags elated here, but got a job to finish in these final 2 here.
You cannot celebrate.
Yeah, facing a full court press. They'll push it back here on Williams. Tony Williams. He'll find Sparks. He'll head to his left, cuts it inside. Benjamin into the paint. Can't get it up. And Williamson will grab it.
And under the 2-minute mark now, here we go.
Passes inside to the cutting Ewing. He'll turn, spin. Can't finish the lay.
What hustle there by Walker Fag, though. He was beat, sprinted right back. It was like the Flash.
And Mejia will turn and hold on to it here. About 1:40 to go. Just taking his time. He'll dance, spin to his right, behind the back to his left. Up and can't finish, Eric Mejia.
Walker Fag. He's doing it all.
How about another second chance bucket?
That's 15 rebounds and 9 on the offensive glass.
That is just fantastic way to crash the glass again and again. St. Peter's 3-point try won't go, and the Stags are seeing the reality set in.
This rebound battle was only 4 after the U4 media timeout. Now it's a +10 margin in favor of Fairfield, 44-34.
Tony Williams keeping it at the top of the key here. Stags using that clock. Sparks draws a foul.
Another frustration foul there from St. Peter's. It might not be significant now that's a 20-point game, but, these frustration fouls, they're not doing a lot except saying that, things haven't gone their way and they're just taking it on their opponent the wrong way now.
Sparks at the line here. Just looking to add on. Puts in the first.
Sparks, another quiet game offensively. Just 2 of 7. That's his 8th point. But, you know, he's going to be a pivotal piece if the Stags want to make it further here, as they will likely hang on for a emphatic win against the number 2 seed.
Yeah, and with this win, the Stags will go on to play the winner of the 3-seeded Siena versus 6-seeded Mount St. Mary's. And that game will be on Sunday. So both the men's and the women's for the Stags are going to get the day off, which is huge. We've heard the coaches talk about how much that one day can make an impact, you know, get the fresh legs, get a chance to kind of breathe. And the Stags are going to have that.
You know, momentum is great in March, but as much as momentum is great, so is rest. Everyone's hurt in this time of year. It's a lot of wear and tear. We especially saw that in that Manhattan game. You know, they were angry that they lost that game to Mount St. Mary's, and now they need a day to collect themselves and kind of get back to 100%.
Benjamin misses the first of 2 here. They're at 10, so he'll get a second at the stripe, but this one is in the books. Fairfield with the big upset tonight, man. I don't think many people here could have predicted the way this one had gone. Stags
I love Chase Coburn, but our colleague Chase Coburn picked him St. Peter's to win it all, so his bracket's busted.
And that's the beauty of March. As St. Peter's layup goes awry, ball's poked out of bounds, it'll stay with them.
But look at Casey, start to finish. How many times has he said that in a press conference, you know, playing to the final whistle?
Yeah, I mean, too many times. Coach Casey, you know, not a man of many words. He's got his mantras that he sticks to, but, you know, when it works, when the team plays to their strengths, you see the results, and you can hear it now. The Fairfield faithful celebrate what'll be the second win in this tournament for the Stags, moving them on to the 3rd round here. Just dribbling it out. Shot clock expires. Booker Fettig celebrating with the bench.
A well-deserved standing ovation right now for the Fairfield Stags.
And St. Peter's will just dribble it out. The Stags are going to win this one 74-55. That's 44 points in the second half. Just a fantastic win and a great Stags basketball right there. Excited to see what they've got coming in here in the future.
That's the best win all year. And I know we've said this time and time again. It just baffles my mind to think that this team started 0-4 in MAAC play. And, you know, to see where they were after that loss against Canisius, where they gave up 5 threes to Khalil Singleton within the first 3 minutes, to knocking off a St. Peter's Peacocks team who had their number not once but twice during the regular season, just goes to show how much this team has grown, developed, matured, and has been a legitimate threat to win a MAAC championship, potentially their first since 1997.
And, you know, the anchors of that are the 2 rookies, Declan Wooker-Fennig and Brendan Benjamin. 15 rebounds apiece. That's just 6 less than St. Peter's had in its entirety. And Brendan Benjamin, to go along with that, 26 points on 10 of 16 shooting.
He ties a career high, but you can't say enough about what Brendan Benjamin has done for this program. From the first game at Penn State to this career game against St. Peter's, in what St. Peter's, which was heavily favored by, 26 points, 15 rebounds, 2 blocks. He does it all, and he may very well should have been a first-team All-MAAC selection, but, you know, sometimes that motivates you to light the fire under you, and it certainly did tonight.
And hopefully we see that in the coming matchup. WVOF will be returning to you in just 2 days for 2 key matchups. First will be the women's, followed by the men's. So stay tuned for all things Fairfield basketball here at WVOF. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kyle Scannell alongside Andrew Jameson, wishing you a great rest of your Friday night. And go Stags. We'll see you soon.